When Titinius Capito 105 until 106 you urged me to compose a history, and you are not alone in urging this, for many have often suggested it to me. I am keen, not because I am sure that I would handle it appropriately, that would be a rash assumption without expertise, but because it seems to me an an especially noble aim not to allow persons who are out immortality to disappear, as also to prolong the glory of others together with one's own. For me, no stimulus is so great as the love and longing for lasting fame, for this the most worthy of human aspirations, especially if one has no awareness of personal guilt, and accordingly no fear of the judgment of posterity. So day and night I ponder if there is any path whereby I too can raise myself from earth, for that is sufficiently meets my prayer, whereas to flit victorious on the lips of men is beyond my aspiration. Yet, my history alone seems to guarantee that sufficiently. Oratory and poetry win little favor without supreme eloquence, whereas history, however it is written, gives pleasure, for people are inquisitive by nature, and they are charmed by gaining knowledge of events, however boldly presented, where even gossip and anecdote entice them. The center of my family is a further stimulus, which direct me to the disciple. My uncle, who became also my father by adoption, wrote works of history with scrupulous care, and the work of philosophers inform me that it is a most honorable thing to follow in the footsteps of one's forebears, so long as the path on which they paved the way was an honorable one. So, why do I hesitate? I have pleaded in important and serious lawsuits, and even if my expectations arising from them are slight, I intend to revise my speeches for fear that all that exacting toil may perish with me unless I put the finishing touches to them. For if you take account of posterity, anything left unpolished is accounted as not having been begun. You will say that you can both rewrite your speeches and write history. I only wish I could, but both are such mammoth tasks that to achieve what is quite enough. I begin to plead in court in my 19th year, and now at last I see, though still only dimly, the skills which an orator ought to manifest. So, what would be the outcome if a new burden were added to the old? True, oratory and history have much in common, but there are several differences in the characteristics they seem to share. Both incorporate narrative, but in different ways. Oratory often has fitting elements that are lowly and mean, deriving from common life, whereas from history what is appropriate is already recherché, noble, and lofty. Bare bones and modest muscles and sinews are more often suited to oratory, whereas willing dares and men's, so to speak, befit history. Oratory wins supreme approval by its passion, bitterness, and aggression. History by being drawn out, equable, and even genial. In short, they, they differ in vocabulary, tone, and structure. It makes the greatest difference whether it is in Thucydides' words, a position or a contest, the first of which is history, and the second oratory. For these reasons, I am not disposed to mingle and mix together the two similar genres which differ in their chief characteristics. In case I am confused by this great jumble, I handle the one as I ought to handle the other. So meanwhile, to stick to the language of my profession, I beg leave for an adjournment. For the moment, you must ponder what period in particular I should tackle. Ancient history, already covered by others, the research is available, but the compilation burdensome. or a recent period not yet covered, the animosity is oppressive and the gratitude meager. Apart from the fact that the monstrous vices of humanity entail more that is worthy of blended praise, it will be said that one's praise is too sparing and one's blame too censorious, even if one's commendation is abundant and one's condemnation must restrain. But these considerations do not hold me back, for I have enough courage to be honest. I'm asking you to prepare the ground for the text you urge to me, and to choose the subject matter so that one once I am ready to start writing, no other just cause for hesitation and delay may emerge. Farewell.